So I thought it would be about time that I made another video. This is just like a quick cosplay update one. I'm currently building Aela the Huntress from Skyrim. I hope that's how you say her name. Aela, I'm pretty sure it is. And my friend Mickey is doing Dovahkiin, like a female version of Dovahkiin, and we're going to enter them at the NCM Midlands Cos Parade, which is in a week and a half, and we're both pretty stressed out right now, trying to get the costumes finished. I can't sew, so Mickey is making the sort of like brown leather dress that Aela wears for me, and in return I'm making her shield for her Dovahkiin cosplay. But I've got all my armour that I've made, so I just thought it would be cool to sort of like show what I've done so far. Like, I've got my... These are my hip guards that she wears. I'll stand up. So the hip guards sort of sit like there, on there. These are just made out of craft foam. All of this armour is made out of craft foam. Pretty much everything I make is made out of craft foam. And then the details are just hot glued on, same as the studs. They're just blobs of hot glue. And then I sprayed them silver and weathered them with a mixture of sort of like black acrylic paint, watered down, and like little bits of orange acrylic paint to make it look sort of rusty. And then I rub in silver rub and buff as well, which sort of gives it a little shine. It just makes it look a bit more metallic. They sort of go on either side, and then she has that piece in the middle. They're all white on the inside because I've not painted them. Underneath those, she has some chainmail. This is made out of aluminium rings because aluminium is really light, and I didn't want like steel rings to weigh the costume down. They sort of sit underneath the armour, sort of like that. These aren't quite as big as the one she has. Like, hers completely cover the whole side of her thigh, but I just don't have time to make those. So I've done sort of a smaller version of the shape, just enough to sit where it needs to, basically. So I've obviously got two of those. I've got the bits that sit on the front of her dress. Again, they're not painted on the back, they're still bright blue because they're made of bright blue craft foam. But they sort of sit there like that. And these need to be glued onto the dress when the dress is done. Again, it's just craft foam primed with PVA glue mixed with water. And then painted, spray painted silver, and then weathered with black paint. These are just those weird little glass pebbles. About 10 years ago, it was really fashionable for sort of middle-aged women to have vases of them dotted around their house. And I think some fashionable fish tanks use them as gravel. So they're just those. I bought them off eBay for like £1.50 for a bag. And then just hot glued them on. Everything in this costume is craft foam, spray paint and hot glue, pretty much. The gauntlets. That's the wrong way around. Again, these bits are craft foam. The whole thing is craft foam. I can't really open it up. You can sort of see on the inside. It's craft foam, and then I've got like this vinyl pleather stuff. It's just brown vinyl, but it's almost got like a leather finish on it. But it was only £8 for a metre, and I got quite a lot of it. So I've literally just wrapped that around the craft foam shape and hot glued it on the inside because I can't, like I said, I can't sew. I do intend to learn at one point, but they just fit on my arm. And then I've just put some brown lace through the middle, so it looks, if you're not really supposed to see this bit, but if you do see it, it sort of looks authentic because it's sort of got that cool, I just tighten it. I do need someone else to tie me in though, that's the only disadvantage. But they look pretty cool. And then there's actually, like, she wears long green sort of gloves, but they're the oddest shade of green in the world. So these are actually green socks that I bought off eBay. And then I tea dyed them. I put them in a bowl of hot water with a couple of tea bags. and it just sort of, it doesn't really show on camera I don't think, but there's like little sort of smears of brown which makes them look sort of dirty, which obviously looks a bit more authentic. That one's not going to go on. So they look pretty cool. And then again, this is just the end of the sock cut off, and I just folded it down and hot glued it inside. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's supposed to be a steel dagger from the game, so I made the sort of sheath, and that sort of hangs like that. Again, the sheath is just craft foam with the brown leather glued on, and then these bits are just craft foam, again, weathered with black acrylic. It's like the same technique over and over. This was made with foam core card, and then I paper mache'd it to make it nice and smooth, because if you spray paint straight onto foam core, sometimes the foam that's sandwiched in the middle can actually get eroded by the spray paint. This is the pleather again, wrapped round, and then I just got some of that wool and wrapped it around to make it look sort of a bit more authentic as a handle. And I've got the shoulder guards. The bottom of the shoulder guards isn't painted yet. These have only been sprayed silver. I've not actually weathered them or painted them properly, and I'm holding them together at the minute with masking tape, so they'll keep their shape for a while, because they sit in my cosplay box and they sort of flatten like gradually, and then when I put them on they look shit. So they will sit sort of like that, but on my shoulder a bit more. I can probably take the masking tape off. And I've got some brown fur to go underneath, and that's going to be sewn on to my dress, so sort of see it. This is craft foam. All of this is craft foam with hot glue details, and then this bit is foam core, just to give it a bit of strength. And then her bow, I've decided to not make the hunter's bow, which is actually what Aela has as default. I'm actually going to make a dragon bone bow. This is cut out of wood. It's a rough shape of a bow. It's actually a skirting board piece of wood, so it's really, really light. It's quite strong. And I've started painting it on this side. I've not done that side yet. But this it doesn't quite look like dragon bone yet, because it's just sort of the rough colour. You can sort of see I've started to put the bone shape in there. But I've not got a paintbrush small enough to add all the detail in, so I'm going to go to Hobbycraft and buy some stuff. And then, sorry, I've got a cough. And then I've got to add the teeth. There's like some teeth coming on the front. And I've got to add the handle. There's like a decorative piece on the handle. And then I've got to string it. Because it's a convention and this is considered as a weapon, I'm allowed to string it with very, very loose string, so it can't feasibly project anything. So I'm going to string it really, really loose. It might look a bit shit when I'm carrying it around, but when I pose with it, I'll be able to pull it taut and it'll actually look like I'm using it as a bow. I've not made an arrow yet. I'm going to make a dragon bone arrow to go with the dragon bone bow, and that's just for photographs so I can pose with it. For the shoes, I'm sort of ignoring what Aela actually has on her feet. She has these really weird like boots that are wrapped in just scrap pieces of leather, and they look really weird. And I actually think that if I do it as it looks on the game, I just don't think it'll photograph well. I think it'll look really haphazard and a bit crap. So I've got instead some really nice sort of brown heeled boots that look vaguely Skyrim-ish. And obviously heels make my legs look better, and my legs are going to be on show, so. And then I bought these really cheap. They're from like China, and they were like £5 for leg warmers. I'm just going to put, I don't think they're going to go over now, no, but they're not. But I'm going to put those over them. And then I'm going to wrap just bits of like scrap pieces of leather around them, just to give them that sort of tied on ranger weathered sort of look. So yeah, that's all my Skyrim armour so far. I'll update again when I've got my dress and the whole thing sort of come together. I might do a video where I've got everything to put on just before I go to the convention. And then obviously there will be a video sort of update of MCM Telford itself. So, cool. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Bye.